All right, guys. So this woman, Linda Fairstein, she's been attacked by the media. They've even put up a petition to try to get her books because she's a novelist. She writes crime books. They've been trying to get her stuff taken down, trying to get her books removed. Blah, blah, her version of events, all based on a big pack of lies, unfortunately. The movie, when They See Us, is a bunch of lies. Everything in there is a lie. But so are all movies. Malcolm X, for instance. Malcolm X was converted to Islam by his family. In the movie, they use a character named Baines because the movies only have an hour and 30 minutes, so they have to use. They take creative license. They call it creative license. They can be creative with the facts, with the truth, to get across, a type of vibe or image that they're trying to portray in a movie. So instead of, the way Malcolm X was indoctrinated into Islam by his family is boring. We'll make it a big scene where he's in the shower in prison and some guy approaches him, blah, blah, blah. So all movies do that. Every movie about any historical figure, some of it's true and some of it is creative license. So they've been attacking this woman, the prosecutor for the Central Park Five, trying to make everything her fault. But she's come out with a statement, and she says, for decades, the Central Park Five case has centered on the narrative of 5 young black teenagers being wrongfully convicted of raping Trisha Mealy. Rape was, however, only one of the multiple charges each of the boys was convicted of in 1990. Now, remember this, kids. Kids and young people who are still living their second childhood. It's easy to get in trouble. It's hard to get out of it. I want you to pay very close attention to this. This is pivotal right here. They were all charged with robbery, assault, rape, sexual abuse, and attempted murder. Most of the charges related to Mealy, but some applied to John Laughlin, a former Marine, and a teacher who was beaten with a metal pipe in the head. There was also Patricia and Jerry Malone, a couple on a tandem bike, who said the boys attacked them. When Matthias Reyes confessed to the rape in 2002, claiming to have acted alone, all of the men's convictions from the night of the incident were vacated. Okay? So, these guys, when the rape is probably the least of what was done that night, and I want you to hear from their point of view. We have Vlad TV, who many people call the feds and say he's a police officer or whatever, but he's very good at getting information out of black men that other people can't get. For some reason, he has this magical touch. When they sit down with Vlad, they tell everything. So let's listen to what the Central Park Five, 2 of them, say happened that night. And I want you kids to understand, to kids and grown men living their second childhood, to listen very closely.
The extent of our, our ventures into things that we shouldn't have known anything about,
Right. So you have a group of roughly 50 black and Spanish kids hanging out.
Yeah.
Now, does anything happen that night? Because I had heard some stories about an incident, someone got beat up and so forth. Talk about that.
Well, so, I was in the back, but from what I saw, it didn't start off where...
He lets you know he was in the back, okay? He was in the back. It was 30, between 30 and 50 guys, roughly, they say. He was in the back, okay?
Anything major happened. People were kind of horsing around, and, it was, to me, it was like young people being young people. And, some car, we kind of made our way to the main traverse where the cars travel around. And I remember people like throwing rocks at the car, and even that stuff, you think about it now, like, man, so we're riding pretty nice cars. Somebody throw a rock at our car, we're gonna be pretty upset, Yeah. But back then it was like, you throwing a rock at a car, that wasn't something that was...
So throwing a rock at a car, I'm sorry. I'm 40. There's never been a time where throwing a rock at a car has been nothing. I'm sorry. And that lets you know to the character these young men had at that time. And many young men have. Not just them. but it lets you know, gives you a window. And I'm going to take everything they say as it's a fact. I'm not going to act like they're lying about anything. Let's take everything they say as a fact, because you got to give a little to get a little. I'll give you that. Everything you say is 100% true. Okay?
Was abnormal or strange, you know, in terms of the depth of our understanding of what we were actually doing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, when I say we, I'm not talking necessarily even about me, Raymond, Corey, Antron, or Kevin. You know, none of us, we actually didn't do anything. A lot of people didn't do anything, you know, in terms of some of the stuff that actually happened, you know. We were really innocent bystanders in terms of watching and being witnesses to what happened, and, you know, to really be able to tell the story all over again.
Yeah, and some things did happen, like a police car had came and they flashed the light on the group and everybody scattered, right? So everybody ran. So we was split. And after that, something did happen. Like, I didn't know about it because when I finally come back to the group, they was telling me about it. So, like, a couple of dudes who...
That cough was like, nigga, be careful what you say.
who had got separated from the group, they did jump like an old man who was walking. They considered him a bum.
Oh, I saw that.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw that.
So, and these guys, they did cop out to those charges later on. They went to prison and served, you know, 1 year or 1.5 years in prison for that.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. And like Yusuf stated, we did go to the transverse, and then we wound up going to the reservoir. And 2 people did get assaulted at the reservoir, and one of them was badly, but that was by one person.
Yeah.
That wasn't by a group. You know, it was by one person who did it, and he went to jail for that. And he served a year in prison for that.
Okay. So you guys are part of this group, and certain members of the group are you know, doing things they shouldn't really be doing. They're, you know, throwing rocks at cars. Someone goes and beats somebody up and so forth. But you guys are not actually involved in any of that. You're just part of the whole group.
Just part of the group, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Fine. Kids, again, you can be part of a group that's doing this type of stuff, and I know you don't want to be like, it's hard, peer pressure and things like that. Trust me, I know. Peer pressure, product of your environment, the mob mentality that takes over. I can understand. I'm sympathetic to that. I'm going to take them at their word. Some of you in the comment section, y'all think they full of crap. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take, I can take you by your word. I'll give you that, and I'll take, you got to give a little to get a little. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt, and let's take what they say. We can only be allowed to pick apart what they do say.
At the end of that night, you guys just go home and that's it?
Well, some of us did. Like Corey left, like Corey, you know, in Corey's story, he leaves the park like
right after he
went in.
He was like, I'm out of here.
So he was like, you know, it doesn't make no sense for me to hang out with these dudes. He went back home. So he didn't witness anything. You know, for me, I got arrested outside the park. You know, by the time that person had got arrested, assaulted by the reservoir, and they called the police, and the police came on the group, whatever was left of the group, because a lot of people had left at that time.
Yeah.
And so I wound up getting arrested along with a guy named Steven Lopez. You know, and then after that, Kevin got arrested with a guy named Lamont McCall, and another guy named Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
You know. And so Yusuf didn't get arrested till like 2 days later or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have this night, various stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
You guys leave, and then the arrests happen afterwards.
Yeah.
But on that night, you know, a woman gets brutally beaten and raped.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes, indeed.
Now, just to put it in kind of a context, things like this were already happening in Central Park. There was I guess a string of assaults and rapes already in Central Park?
Yeah, the guy was known as the East Side Rapist.
Okay.
I really can't believe that so many people are still working in this old way, selling their time to a boss.
So the East Side Rapist was...
Now, this This is talking about all crime and rape, and it's monetized. I want y'all to see that video. Take notes of that. Those of you sub to the channel, make sure you hit the like button. It's important that you hit the like button. It's important that you subscribe, and it's important that you donate, no matter what it is, anytime you can.
Running around Central Park and raping people, but people don't know who he is.
Yeah.
At this point. Okay. So then, a couple days after the incident, you guys start getting arrested.
Mm-hmm.
When they arrest you, what do they charge you with? Or what do they tell you that you're getting arrested for?
Originally, for me, because I got arrested that night, it was misdemeanor charges. So it was like trespassing, menacing, riot. It was stuff that was supposed to go to family court. So originally, we was given disappearance.
So trespassing, menacing, and rioting goes to family court. And this is why you have so many young kids out here behaving this way, because like when I was this age, they'd bring me home to my mother. They'd be like, you want us to keep him or you want to keep him? They take you home to your doorstep sometimes. Or take you down to just precinct where they pick you up. Kids get arrested 20, 30, 40, 50 times. It's not uncommon in these neighborhoods. These kids, however, had no prior run-ins with the law. But a lot of these crimes that you guys think are big deals, and if you're the victim of it, such as like you're riding down the street and I throw a rock through your window for no reason, and you don't, that's nothing in the criminal system. That's a big deal to you because you got to call Safe Light, and you got to get your window replaced, or you got to go through the trauma of like, God damn, what just happened? But man, they'll pick that kid up and his mom will pick him up an hour later, and like, she ain't gonna do nothing. What can she do? She ain't got no daddy. What she gonna do?
Tickets to appear in family court, and we had to wait for our parents to come pick us up. And it wasn't until they found the jogger in like those wee hours of the morning that they thought she was gonna die, because they saw the condition and the state that she was in, and so they called a Homicide North Detective Squad, who came in and said, all right, well, let us question the boys, those that you have in custody.
Yeah. Okay. And she was brutally beat.
Which makes sense, because think about it. If you guys were the only 5 that were arrested of this group that had done everything that, was if you done any research on this, they tore that park up, man. None of you in this comment section will wish you was in that park. Now I know some of y'all, man, if they'd have ran up on me, I'd have. It ain't nobody in this comment section that wish they was in that park that night and not with these kids. And it ain't nobody who wish they was with these kids, but it ain't nobody in this comment section that I don't care how bad you is, a group of 30 of these, not these men you hearing talking on eloquently that's grown, not or me that's grown and speaking, with the rationale and reason that I have right now. Not one of you would have wanted to been in that park that night.
And raped. I guess like her skull was fractured and so forth. I mean, I guess at one point they weren't even sure if she was going to live.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't expect her to live at all.
They didn't expect her to live. That's why they called a homicide squad to come on in, because they thought she was going to die.
We got to remember too, from the reports that everybody knows about, this lady lost about 3/4 of her blood. And it was amazing in terms of that whole scenario as well, because then when they arrested us, even when they arrested those of us afterwards, them telling us, hey, we need y'all to get your clothes that y'all wore that night and things of that nature, none of us having a drop of blood on us, nobody's skin, she obviously put up a fight, but, the way that they were trying to make the story sound, especially with Kevin Richardson, was that they tried to make the people believe that she had scratched him. But then when you tested...
This brother got some problematic coughs. I'm not an expert in body language, but I know a little bit about it. He got some problematic coughs. The timing of his coughs was very problematic.
Fingernails and did forensics and all of that stuff. Nothing matched any one of us.
Yeah.
But they still pinned it on us because, you know, I always said that it was really more sexy for it to be 5, you know, people of color brutalizing a young, probably wealthy investment banker at that time. You know,
Right. Who happens to be white, blonde, pretty.
Yeah.
It was a person of color. The Hispanic dude, Reyes, confessed to it. It was a person of color. Second of all, anybody who reads the daily news in any of these cities, they don't gotta make up nothing. They ain't gotta make up nothing. They ain't gotta make up no stories just to make black people look a certain way. They ain't gotta do all that. That's another thing that I'm not buying. It's just weird. Like, it's just like, really? Especially in the 80s in New York with the crime. Like, look, if you just want a story of some black people doing some crime to some white people, or just wait 10 seconds if you're a reporter. You don't have to make nothing up. This is just today in D.C. Okay, we have this. I feel obligated to show you guys this. 58 arrested as part of Operation Broken Hearted Targeted Child Sex Offenders. These are all white people. Okay. But the point is that, look at this guy. Says this man upskirted at least one woman in Tacoma Park Silver Spring Food Co-op. This is around probably like 5-10 minutes from where I frequent. I frequent a neighborhood that's 5 or 10 minutes from there. The man reportedly walked up, and if he upskirted a woman around there, it was a white woman. Why do they have to make this stuff up in a city like DC or New York where crime? Man convicted of killing veteran during carjacking. DeMarco Wheeler. Know any white guys named DeMarco Wheeler? It's just today. You don't have to. This whole narrative that they were looking to just make a sexy story for some black men. Just look in your local paper. It's not hard to find a brother that got arrested for something. I mean, just look through it. It's or a white person either. But I'm just saying, they're making it seem like it's a sexy, that they're searching for black men that did something. It would be a sexy story. Really, in New York? How many of y'all remember we used to go around the nation with the local news in New York was always very fun because they always had the craziest things happening there on the regular. So I don't believe that whole thing. They needed a sexy story because some woman got raped. Women were always, like they said, women were constantly being raped in that park. This wasn't like, oh my God, a woman got raped in Central Park. Let's make these. No, y'all Negroes was there and y'all was wilding. And yeah, y'all might not have done the rape, but y'all got arrested because y'all was there and y'all was wilding.
So it made for some very compelling headlines.
Definitely.
Okay, so Raymond, let's go ahead and start with you.
Mm-hmm.
You get arrested. You get brought to the precinct. At what point did they start questioning you about this?
Well, we was there We was there until early in the morning.
Now, kids who run with crews, large packs of people, you know some you know and some you don't. When you young, listen, when they start talking about some time, you getting ratted out. And I'm not going to tell you be smart or do it by your lonely. Don't do it, period. Stay away from crime. You're going to get 20, 30 bucks robbing one of these people nowadays. If that, everybody carrying, nobody got cash. And if you use their card, definitely going to catch you.
I think Kevin was the first one that they took into the room, and then I was second. And so you're talking like 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So by that time we was already there the whole night. And the line of questioning starts off, it starts off very calm. It's like, just what happened that night? Tell us what happened. And so, I go through the story of who I was with, who I came with, what I saw that night, and that was it. And then it was like, but wait a minute. What about this woman? And I go, what woman? And they say, the woman who got raped. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know nothing about that. I never saw that. I don't know about that. And that line of questioning goes on for hours. And then I had my grandmother there who was sitting with me at the time, and she spoke very little English, but she can't carry conversation. She just knew a lot of curse words in English, right? And so they had to translate between me and her. And so I guess that became problematic for them. And so it was like, all right, we got to get her out the room. And that's when it starts. And by this time, you're under, 3-4 hours of questioning, of not knowing what's going to happen. The pressure's just so great. And it gets even greater as the questioning goes on.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're running around a park assaulting people. Not even robbing them, really, just beating the crap out of people. And you get caught. I've been there. Been in that interrogation room. It ain't no interrogation room. These big cities, they sit you down. They say, you got anything to tell us? You say no, they throw you in a cell. Y'all all seen First 48. You know the deal. If you don't want to talk, they just throw you in a cell. It's people coming in left and right. While you're being processed, it's people coming in. These big cities with 500,000, 1 million. New York, 11 million people. You at the precinct, it's like a thoroughfare. It's like the train station at 5 o'clock. People just coming in. Process officers bringing people in all day long. They ain't sitting there worried about... You got something to tell us? No. All right, go to your cell. We don't need it. We got you.
And so for me, they started where they started to do the intimidation tactics, right? They had an officer come in, he'll knock at the door, he'll bring my grandmother out, and he'll talk to her in Spanish. And while they got her outside, that's when they started to work on me. So, they'll bring an officer in who's real tall, he gives me this look, threatens me, what the fuck are you looking at? At that point, I'm about 5'6", 120 pounds soaking wet, and it just builds from there.
But y'all were running through the park, beating the crap out of people. His size is only a problem when it doesn't stop them from running through the Central Park with a group of guys that were beating the crap out of people. But now you're only 5'6", 120 pounds, which I get. I understand. From his perspective, I get that.
It builds from there until they get me to a point that I feel like I'm so helpless. And for me, that point came because with the officers coming in and out the room, it happened about 3 times. The third time is when the officer who's actually asking me the questions, where he just flips and he's like, I'm tired of this shit. He bangs on the table and he reaches for me. And at that point, I feel like I'm not going to make it off the precinct. I feel like I'm going to die, right?
Okay. So your grandmother's in the next room. You think they're going to kill you right there. Okay. I'll give you that.
And at that same moment, a detective who comes in the room, sitting in the back, stops him. Starts yelling at him, cursing at him. What the fuck are you doing? You crazy? Get out the room. Kicks him out the room. And at that moment, I feel like he saved my life, right? And he sits there and he goes, Raymond, you a good kid. I know you ain't do this, but she got these guys in the other precincts and they saying you did it. I need your help.
Man.
And I'm like, so what the hell am I going to tell this dude? Because I don't know. I don't know the facts. I wasn't there. I didn't see shit. But what he does is he gives me a lifeline. He pulls out a picture of Kevin Richardson. He lays it on the table.
So basically, this is him about to tell, at 14, which is very understandable, how he's going to rat out all his boys, which sets off a chain of events that costs all these men years in prison for a crime they, as we know of, didn't commit. But it all starts, you see how you get yourself in trouble? Remember, the important thing is none of the other four knew this guy. This guy right here, the Hispanic guy right here, he had just met the other four that night. I didn't want to show the whole interview because, you go watch that on Vlad TV. But I just wanted to show you this little 5-minute part of the interview. None of the 5 knew this guy before this night. So he's like, he just starts ratting on everybody.
And he says, you see this kid right here? Do you know him? I say, no. And he said, well, this is Kevin. You see the scratch on his face? That came from the jogger fighting him off. Now, we know he going to jail, but I don't want you to go to jail. So I need you to help me out. Give me something. And then he just sits back, and he just looks at me and just waits.
Man.
And at that moment, as a 14-year-old kid, what are you doing? We're trying to figure out a lie to tell, something just to stop the pressure from overcoming. And
okay. I mean, this is classic good cop, bad
Good
cop.
cop, bad
Wait,
cop.
I want to just interject there because I knew that piece was going to come up in terms of the classic good cop, bad cop thing. But when you are in there and it's happening to you, TV can't paint that picture.
TV can't.
I will give him that. I've been there. Not just the interrogation part, but just being young man locked up, knowing your parents know the jig is up. All the stuff you've been doing, now your parents, your mama know. It ain't no more, it was Steve and them. Well, you can still do that, but it ain't no more like, oh, we ain't doing nothing, we just going out to the park hanging out. It's dangerous down there, honey. Yeah, but we just be hanging out. We not with them other guys. Now you've been arrested. And there was a rape. And you already know there was a rape. Like, these guys knew about all that stuff. They just probably didn't do it, but they knew all this stuff happened. And some guys you were with that you didn't really know these guys. You knew some you knew some guys. They met up with some other guys, and all y'all went out to the park. But you didn't know these 5 guys. I mean, these other 4 guys. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you just telling. And then what happens is, at 14 years old, I'm even gonna give him a pass for telling because he's 14. Like, 14-year-old, that's what they do. 14-year-old ain't holding no water, okay? The hardcore ones, but these guys had no previous interactions with police. This was their first. The hardcore ones, they're going to spit on the police and tell them to get the fuck out their face. But ones like these ones, these was, their first time getting caught for this type of stuff, terrified.
So when we see stuff like that happen on
Not because of racist cops, but because you did something and you got caught.
TV, I usually tell folks that's about 50% of the reality of what really goes on. Like Raymond didn't think that the guy was faking. He thought the guy was about to kill him and come across that table.
Yeah.
But they probably scripted that stuff. Hey, listen.
Because he'd seen rapes, assaults, beatings, bludgeonings all night from the group that he was with. So him thinking that a person could harm them is not out of his realm of possibility. He's been tried all night. He's been with a crew of people that were walking through a park, assaulting, beating, bludgeoning, and raping people. So that's why he thinks like this cop is serious, because he knows how serious it can get.
I'm going to be the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? You make sure I don't go too far. You know what I'm saying? And for us, we're scared to death.
Never been through it.
Okay. So at no point do you ask for a lawyer or anything else like that? I guess you just don't even know about stuff like that at that point?
I mean, they read the Miranda rights, but at that...
Okay, so that's enough. I just wanted to let you guys hear that because it's very interesting that they're now making this woman some evil, racist white woman who like she not the prosecutor. She don't just get a stack of cases every day and just do what they do. She selectively went down there looking for these boys. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like she just the prosecutor for that courthouse where every fucking case is on her docket. She get her docket, she opens it, that's the first time she's seen it. Okay, the state versus so-and-so and so-and-so. How do you plead? Well, and then she goes from there. Her whole life, she was looking for these guys so that she could convict. And these guys didn't do nothing. They was just down the park with a bunch of people that were robbing, raping, assaulting, and beating people. That's all they did. They didn't do nothing wrong. And they're trying to get this, and this woman's fighting back. She like, hell nah. She's like, no, She will not, she's not standing for, no. These dudes was down there, yes, and yeah, yada, 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 yada. And I'm telling you, kids, even though you didn't do, just like 9/11, all those guys, none of them guys did. Some of those guys didn't fly the plane. Some of those guys didn't hijack the plane. They was involved with it, the planning and stuff of that nature. They've been sitting in Guantanamo Bay since 2001. Okay? Just don't walk around with groups of people. If you were the group and you in the back and you're not really doing nothing and you see one beating, fine. You see 2 or 3 beatings, robberies and stuff, separate yourself from that group if you're not with that stuff. Because it could be a 14-year-old scared kid in that group that will tell the cops anything to get himself out of trouble. Not because they're racist white people and they're going to kill him, but because he's trying to get out of it. It happens every day. Get in the comment section.